Congressman, welcome to the show. All right, many people were surprised yesterday and got the news that Fauci said he was stepping down in December after he said it would be at the end of Biden's term, as I suggested. You all have said that you are going to investigate him no matter what. Do you buy his comments there?
No, I just think it's awfully suspiciously coincidental, don't you, Lindsay? But you know what? He can retire, but it's not going to save him from congressional oversight and an investigation. We need to know what Tony Fauci knew and when he knew it. And did he try to cover up, as Senator Rand Paul has suggested, did he try and cover up the U.S. taxpayer money being used in that Wuhan lab? And he said, remember, he said that no money was directed to the Wuhan lab. That turned out to be not true. And was there gain of function research going on there? Of course there was. And we also need to investigate the origins of the coronavirus itself, because the Democrats have given the Chinese communists a pass.
You know, he said that he has nothing to cover up ultimately. And many people have said that they actually believe that he lied to Congress about emails that came out suggesting that he was trying to, as you say, cover up that it came from the Wuhan lab, trying to get reporters to say that that just wasn't true. So what do you ultimately want? Do you want to get answers out of this, or do you really want to hold him accountable in some way?
Of course. I mean, Lindsay, we want the truth and justice. If Fauci didn't do anything wrong, then he should welcome an investigation. And if he did, well, then he's going to face justice. And the American people deserve that. I mean, this guy was wrong on AIDS in the 1980s. He was wrong on COVID, because what Tony Fauci and his ilk have done over the last 2 years is they mixed politics and medicine. And when you mix politics and medicine, you get two things. You get bad politics and bad medicine.
All right, I do want to switch gears here. We talked about this yesterday. It's continuing to get a lot of attention. WNBA star Brittany Griner is still in a Russian prison. We had today State Department spokesperson Ned Price discuss this ongoing effort to try to get her released. They said they're finally in conversations with Russia about this, but it has been some time. Why is this taking so long? The U.S. has made suggestions. They have put up negotiations, and it doesn't seem like we have leverage here.
Well, because, you know, Putin's a crook. And when you have criminals that head a nation state, you have problems and issues. I'd like to see Ms. Griner return to the United States, but we should definitely not, and I repeat, not trade the merchant of death for her, for several reasons. One, it just makes all Americans that fall, you know, that are under Russian jurisdiction, it puts them in more danger because they can be used as bargaining chips. You see this with North Korea and other rogue regimes. So while I really want her freedom, as I would any American that is unjustly imprisoned, we unfortunately cannot trade her for a career felon like the merchant of death.
Okay, also switching gears, according to reports, the White House is planning on announcing and extending student loan moratoriums tomorrow, extending student debt. Obama's economic advisor, his former economic advisor, Larry Summers, tweeted in response, "I hope the administration does not contribute to inflation macroeconomically by offering unreasonably generous student loan relief, or microeconomically by encouraging college tuition increase." He goes on to say student loan debt relief is spending that raises demand on increases in inflation. It consumes resources that could be better used to helping those who did not, for whatever reason, have the chance to attend college. It will also tend to be an inflationary, it will raise inflation for tuitions as well. I mean, this administration just keeps wanting to throw money at everything like that's going to fix the problem. But here you have Larry Summers saying, actually, this is not going to help. We're in a recession. This is not going to help with inflation. It's going to make it worse. And it's not fair.
Lindsay, I actually agree with Larry Summers. He said it succinctly. This is, I know, this is patently unfair, and it's un-American, because many, look at our skilled laborers. A lot of them didn't attend four-year colleges. They attended trade schools, and they had to pay their loans back, or they had to pay their way as they went. And what about all of the students that did have student loans? I only had a minor one because I was fortunate enough to be on a scholarship in university. But I paid that back in full. It sets a horrible precedent, and it doesn't teach these young people that when you make a choice, you made a conscious choice to borrow money to attend a four-year university, you need to pay that money back. You could have gone to a junior college for a couple of years and then transferred to a state school. Nobody told you how to go to a high-priced private school and get a four-year degree in philosophy, so now you're serving me lattes at the Starbucks. That's a choice you made, and you have to face the consequences.
Before we go, you're in a border state, and an NPR poll came out today showing that more than half of all Americans believe the United States is facing an invasion at our southern border. This includes, Congressman, 40% of Democrats. How do your constituents feel about our southern border?
Honestly, I just had, Lindsay, 6 town halls, and it came up in every town hall. I could have done a town hall just on the border. It is an absolute invasion, and the numbers say so. I mean, the last 4 months, we've had 200,000 or more illegal border crossings. Now, the Biden administration magically fudged the numbers, and it's 24 below 200,000 for July. But let's be honest, over 1 million people have illegally crossed that border in just 4 months. Almost 4 million. Actually, now it's over 4 million since Biden took office. That's the entire state of Oklahoma. We don't have the resources currently to, when more than 3,000 or 4,000 people cross the border on a single day, our border patrol is stretched, it's super thin, and now it's 12,000 a day, 15,000 a day sometimes. And it's ridiculous. It's a complete invasion, and we need to secure the border forthwith.
Congressman Pat Fallon, good to see you this evening.
Thanks, Lindsay. God bless. Take care.
Well, it's primary night with voters in New York and Florida headed to the polls right after the